Invasion angle.
Hey, we're excited to announce our next guest, the Invasion Angle podcast. Wrestler who's been all around North America, United States, and Canada. Myung-jae Lee. Welcome to the
It is
pod.
I. It is I. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the pod. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
We're
What
stoked
a
to
Yeah, we were
record this
saying
up.
like this is technically he's a returning guest.
yeah, we're gonna be
Technically.
technical about it. Yeah, he did show up on but that was like Puff's
That
first
was
time he
the
came on,
first
I
interview
think.
Puff. I think you called Puff in the middle of the pod. and he
Probably.
Yeah,
and
That
he
makes
and he,
sense.
he put it on speaker, yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah,
Me
And he
and
just
Puff
being a
talk on the phone all the time. So we just like call each other at the worst possible moment
yeah.
sometimes. So
No, he was cool about it. It was funny.
sweet. Well,
yeah,
thank you for having me on
Yeah.
then. And
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
for
Of
Yeah.
actually having me on now.
course. Yeah.
Well, we
yeah.
were stoked. We're like, we got the double whammy, you know what I mean? We got Puff, and then we got another guest,
Yeah,
so.
there you go. Two for
But
Nice.
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
where are you from?
So I'm actually from Albany, New York, but I
Okay.
trained in Buffalo when I went to college around there. So I trained at Grapplers Anonymous with like Puff and Daniel Garcia. And then after college, I moved back home, and I just have been getting on the road and sharing car rides and everything with the Buffalo boys and everything. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, we've caught you a couple times in Jersey and I don't know where else. These guys remember
it
the
was in
shows better than
we,
me.
we were at the last Steel Stack show in Bethlehem.
oh,
Yeah, the
nice.
Yeah.
LVAC you guys
Yes.
saw, right? Yeah,
Where they
Yeah.
booed me for liking
Yeah, it
cotton
was
candy ice cream.
it was
Which is
ridiculous.
one of the best
that's
flavors in my
that's
opinion.
fucked up, dude.
I know.
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna cheer me because I just won, just had this great match with
Yeah.
Junie Underwood, great wrestler, great worker. And like it was fun, it was for ice cream and everything, and then I said my favorite flavor and they booed me for it.
Dude,
Like
it,
I
yeah,
can't help. I can't help it that I like cotton candy ice cream, you know? Like that's just what I like, man.
I
yeah,
think
we're
the
fire.
crowd were getting fired up about just a lot of things that night. I think, there
Yeah.
was an Oktoberfest going on in the area, so you
Yeah,
never know.
definitely.
What is the flavor of that area? Like the consensus flavor
oh
in
I
that crowd that night in
Bubble gum,
Pennsylvania?
something like that.
I don't know,
Bubble.
probably
Hey, you
anything but cotton candy,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah, and if you like bubblegum, you can't talk shit on cotton candy. So
Yeah.
I
It's
don't.
delicious.
Bubblegum's like a flavor you get like at the dentist when you're a
Come
Yeah,
kid.
on,
I don't,
man.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Chris is a vanilla guy, so I don't even want to hear it.
yeah.
I
I
keep
mean,
it.
I like all types of ice cream. Like I just got ice cream 2 days in a row. Like I got it yesterday and I got it the day before. The first day I got a twist of coffee and black raspberry, and I got that with chocolate sprinkles on it. And then yesterday I got orange and vanilla with
There
rainbow
you go.
sprinkles
Yeah,
on it. So I switch it up.
there you go. Yeah, we're
Wow.
Jersey. We're all from Jersey, so we're big on the orange and vanilla. I'm
Sweet.
down by the boardwalk. Yeah,
Sweet. I'm not gonna lie, I don't typically like wrestling in New Jersey.
dude.
I just
That's
We we've
We don't like
this is like
going
a
to it.
common. It's a very common thing. Like for some of the guests we had on, like that's what they say every time. And like
oh man.
I agree. Like I'm from Tom's River, and like the promotions around me are just like I don't know. They're like 15 match cards, long as hell.
Oh man.
It was just like it's rough to get through. So like I understand the New Jersey wrestling hate.
Well, there's
Well, I've
definitely a
wrestled,
desire, you know?
yeah, I've wrestled inside the Mecca like
Yeah,
countless amount of times, and sometimes, oftentimes, there's like less than 10 people there, and it's
yeah.
like it's crazy driving all the way there, and then you get out and there's like
Yeah.
9 people in the crowd. It's like, oh, lovely. I
Dude,
love this.
we've been to shows like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
is there. It's weird because I feel like there is a big, fan base for wrestling in Jersey, but I feel like they're just very picky. I feel like
Yeah.
people are very picky about their indie shows,
Yeah.
or I don't. I know a lot of the shows aren't like promoted really well. Whether it's through social media or whatever. It's just like sometimes I'm like, I'll see a show pop up that happened like a few days earlier. I'm just like, I've never seen
Yeah.
anything about this, and I follow this
Yeah.
page, and I don't. I don't.
Yeah, I was curious about that because, I know a lot of people run the same like venue
Yeah.
there. So it's like, do people flyer still? Like, do people still like hang up like wrestling posters around New Jersey? Like,
I did it
that's what I'm
once.
wondering.
I've seen them
Yeah?
sometimes, yeah.
I did it once just so I could get free tickets to like a local like indie show.
Oh,
I was
there you
just like,
go.
"Hey, you guys doing a show? Let me
Who
put up flyers for you."
who
Because
was that again? Yeah.
I do think that still works.
It
Like,
Yeah,
does.
it's
Yeah.
people
100% it
come
does, yeah.
out to that, especially
yeah,
in like that town that's Boonton, Jersey, and I don't know, it's people like to go out and do stuff there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you gotta take advantage of
But
it when
that
you
could be a
can.
thing, like with the Mecca and Ridgefield Park. It could just be like so many people run shows there, it just could be like burnout.
Mhm. I know
I don't
one of the
know.
last times I wrestled there, SmackDown was on like the exact same night in like
Mhm.
uh Madison Square Garden or something like that. So I was
Mhm.
like, way to run a show the
Yeah.
exact same day as the WWE show that
Yeah.
people would probably rather go to,
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
why I mean we love traveling to the LBAC because they always
Yeah.
put on a great show. There's so many people there. It's always like one of the most important things for me is like in indie wrestling, it's like I want it to be fun and I don't want it to
Yeah.
be too serious. And LBAC like knows like the perfect little blend of that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the best. And the funniest part about them is they're not even necessarily a wrestling company
Yeah.
first. They're a screen printing company,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw an interview with him. He's like, yeah, I do screen printing on the side, but if when it comes to our wrestling promotion, I've never made a profit. I'm just doing it for the love of it. And it's like, well, that's
Yeah.
awesome at least. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always love going down to Pennsylvania
Mhm.
for LBAC. I actually just placed an order of new shirts, and
There
I
you go.
think it's the stupidest shirt design that I've ever printed before.
Sounds like something
And
I'm gonna get.
even the owner of LVAC even like texted me and was like, "Hey, are you sure this wouldn't be better as like a car bumper sticker instead of a t-shirt design?" But I want it so bad just because it's a really obscure reference to Gilmore Girls. There's an episode of
Okay.
Gilmore Girls. I don't know if you know Kirk. Kirk is played by Sean Gunn,
Mhm.
and is like in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his role on Gilmore Girls is that he just like does every single job ever. Like he's just always in a different
Yeah.
job for some reason. And there's this one episode where he decides to sell t-shirts about people around the town. And there's this character named Babette. And so he made a t-shirt that just said Babette ate oatmeal. So I'm printing a t-shirt that says Myung-jae ate ice cream. And that's all it is. So it's like it's so stupid. No one's gonna want to wear it outside of a wrestling show. No one's gonna want to wear
I
it
don't
out
know.
like out in public. But it's like so stupid, and I really wanted to do it. So I sent that order in, and I'll have them soon. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, I think it would. People would wear that outside of a wrestling show. I think because sometimes some of the merch is just like, it's just like this is wrestling merch. I'm only wearing it there.
yeah,
At least that shirt, like, it's funny. It has a story behind it. Like, I don't know. It's more of a conversation starter if you're wearing that
yeah.
Yeah.
outside of wrestling.
Like
Yeah.
grown men wearing out on the street,
Yeah,
just a shirt that says "Yeet."
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or it's like I've got this buddy, Junior Benito. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Junior Benito, but his whole thing is clap dem cheeks. So his shirts say clap dem cheeks. Yeah,
yeah.
unreal.
That's great. That seems like a shirt you'd see at the Jersey Shore on the
Well,
boardwalk for
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
100%.
Oh
Like in
my
the
God.
spray paint graffiti.
Yeah, the
So
airbrush.
Yeah.
I design stuff myself, and Puff has been asking me to like design him a bunch of stuff, and he just recently got a new "Fuck Donald Trump" shirt.
Oh, I think I've
And
seen
I'm
it.
not gonna
Yeah.
lie, I hated that design. I like the message, but I hated the design. But like anything I send to Puff, he'll typically just get printed without even like checking it
Yep, it's
over.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, dude, Puff does have phenomenal merch too. So if you're the one designing most of it, that's awesome. I mean,
yeah. I
Yeah.
design
yeah,
a lot of his. Design a lot of Anthony Musso's,
yeah.
who's a wrestler that travels with us. Um, but most of the time it's just me, just sitting around playing around on the computer and
Yeah.
just like, having a good time and then just like sending it to them. Half the time they like don't even care, whatever. But
Is that what you went to school for? Like design, things of that nature?
no, actually. But I've always like played around in Photoshop and I've always played around in like video editing and stuff. Um Partially because of wrestling, actually. Like when I was like 10, 11 years old, I used to like make YouTube videos animating like WWE stages. And like I would just like take the graphics from like the video games and just like put them like on like a green screen like stage or whatever. But that's how I started like getting playing around with like video editing and stuff. And then eventually I started like vlogging because like Ryan Higo was big at the time and he was making like
Mhm.
sketches and
Yeah.
everything. So then I started to do some of like those YouTube videos. So like I've kind of just always been like playing around on the computer, like whether it's video editing, photo editing, or like anything with
Mhm.
social media. So I just dabble.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So when did you officially like decide like, all right, I want to start training. I want to get into this world of wrestling?
Also, I've watched it my entire life. Like I was adopted from South Korea at 8 months old.
Mhm.
And so like I grew up with white parents, this whole white family and everything. But ever since I was a baby, like WWE was always on,
Mhm.
like on the TV, and I kind of just grew up and I loved it, stuck with it. And then I started like wrestling, like amateur wrestling in middle
Mhm.
school, and I did that throughout high school as well. Um, and there was a local school by me, and I was like, Mom, Dad, please I just need you to sign this waiver. Please, can I like, go to this local wrestling school and
Mhm.
start training while I'm in high school to be a pro wrestler? And they were like, no, you gotta wait until you're 18 or whatever. Or I think my mom even said that I had to wait until I graduated college, and I was like, once I went off to college, I was like, they can't tell me no
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
point. So.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah.
was like my either sophomore or junior year of college where I finally got a car on campus and everything, and I wasn't just like stranded. And I went to an indie wrestling show, but then I was just scrolling Twitter one day and I saw a tweet from a guy named Brandon Thurston. Um, and he does WrestleNomics now, but I saw a tweet from Brandon Thurston, and it was just like, huh, at Garcia Wrestling or whatever Daniel Garcia's at was at the time was like, that's a name to look out for or something like that.
Mhm.
He had just wrestled Drew Gulak on 205 Live and he just
Mhm.
jobbed out. I was like, huh, that's interesting. So I clicked Brandon Thurston's profile and then I found Grapplers Anonymous and I was like, oh. And then I started going through their videos and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, they've got Puff, they've got Kevin Blackwood, they've got Daniel Garcia, they've got Kevin Bennett, they've got The Blade. They've got all these people that were working all these places. And once I found like that school online and everything, I was like, okay, this is the place I need to go. So I ended up going. I like showed up just to like sit in on a training day. I was like, all right, I'll be back. And you had to try out too.
Mhm.
So like that next whole week I just like worked out as hard as I could to be prepared for the tryout. I tried out with some other kid and both of us passed the tryout. The only difference was I showed up to training the next day and that I didn't see that guy like ever
Uh,
again. So yeah.
yeah, I guess he was good after that.
Yeah, but no, those training nights were crazy because I went to SUNY Geneseo, and that's a little closer to Rochester. So I was driving like an hour and 15 minutes there to Grapplers Anonymous and an hour and 15 minutes back to school,
Mhm.
like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But it's just because I wanted it so bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it makes it
Yeah.
worth it for sure.
Yeah.
And that Buffalo scene at the time is, yeah, it was crazy that you're going into with all the names that
Yeah.
you just mentioned. And yeah, so it was great timing getting into that Buffalo wrestling scene and that
It
school.
It was good timing, but it was also bad timing because I had like my first debut match in like the end of February of like I forget what is it 2019? Whatever the year, like 2 weeks after I had my singles match, my first singles debut match, the pandemic hit. And I just
Oh,
like
that's right. Damn.
so then there's just that long stretch. And I was like, oh, I was so excited to like get on the road and everything, but it might have been for the better because then when training started to come back, even though shows weren't running, training started to come back a little quicker before shows. I had some extra time, to be like a little more polished before I actually started getting
Yeah.
on like shows and everything. So it kind of worked out in my favor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to, I feel like the pandemic was definitely weird. We went to a couple, I think, outdoor shows by like the summertime, I think, like
Hmm.
Real Rumble, I think we went to, and then
Yeah, that
this other
was
that other
like,
one with Brian
Yeah, I
Cage and
think
like a
it
few
was.
yeah, it was
few
like
others.
I think it was like October of that pandemic year,
Oh,
and
that one
then
was
Yeah.
later. Okay.
the drive-in one was like May of
May.
21. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
were starting the run. I mean, but no,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I
like
think it was just they were
perfect.
sick in the outdoor stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember there were like some closed tapings, but like you had to, make sure that you were
Yeah.
tested and negative and everything. So I got lucky with that because even like before I was like really getting on the road, Daniel asked me and this other wrestler, Coobs, if we wanted to come up to Limitless Wrestling's like closed
Mhm.
tapings and everything. And we
Yeah.
did, and that was a great time, made lots of connections, like people I still talk to, people that I've wrestled since, so
Yeah.
that was like beauty, perfect,
Mhm.
perfection,
Because at that point, it was whoever wanted to step up. And some people didn't want to go out there and that stuff, and so many opportunities came by from that. It seemed like,
Yeah. It was that was a really special time because like during those tapings, it was like you had Christian Casanova, now known
mhm.
as Carmelo
Yeah.
Hayes, like, wrestling like
Mhm.
guys like Daniel there. Now you see Daniel the TNT champion. So it's
Yeah.
like it's just pretty cool to be a part of back then because you could kind of sense that like these people are going
Mhm.
somewhere. Um, and I'm just like I'm grateful for those experiences.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it's like a good measuring bar too when you're like training with these guys and you have a sense that they are gonna be something big and you can kind of see where you're at, like, in comparison to them as you're coming up with them. So I'm
A
sure that's
hundred
always kind of
percent.
helpful. Yeah. And so I'm sure when you have those good days and stuff, it's like, yeah, of course you're gonna be confident. I just trained with Garcia and did awesome,
Exactly.
So that's yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was like looking at some of the stuff that you've done. Like I have to say, the Masters in the Universe title is dope AF. And
Yeah.
yeah, how was that tournament overall? Was that a solid
Shout out,
experience? That was
shout out
last
Intersp
June.
Yeah, so sometime over the summer last year. Shout out Interspecies Wrestling. I noticed like someone just discovered one of their old cage match cards on Twitter and is like,
Yeah, I
what
saw
was this
that.
card or whatever? So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool. I believe they're gonna be running a certain date this summer as well to celebrate their 20th anniversary, which is pretty cool. Um, but no, that tournament, I love doing tournaments. I know that's kind of a crazy thing to say because it's like, oh, you're wrestling a bunch of times within one day, and that can be super stressful. But I really
yeah,
like that because it kind of like pushes me to not have the exact same match like every
Mhm.
single time,
Yeah.
So yeah, the Masters of the Universe was great. I got to wrestle London Lightning, a guy named Hattie and a guy named Hot Stepper McCray Martin. Um, and that day was something else because the night before I had just wrestled a Canadian legend named XS. He used to like wrestled Generico, he wrestled Steen and Sexy Eddie. Like he was in like that big four-way CZW match that like
Mhm.
made those guys blow up and stuff. So
Mm.
I wrestled him and he is a hard hitter. He likes to give back chops. So like I endured like the most the day before that tournament.
Yeah.
And so then we get to the venue and I have to wrestle London Lightning, and then London and I were just like, we're not bumping in this match at all. So then we did the whole match without bumping and just like got off by like rolling and stuff. So it was just a fantastic time. And yeah, that the tournament was attached to like a comic or like nerd expo. So they had like a bunch of like cool things that you could like walk around and like buy if you wanted and stuff, like old toys and whatnot.
That's pretty sick.
But yeah, that was a great day. I got Taco Bell after,
There
just
you go.
Oh yeah,
What's your Taco
celebrating.
Bell order?
live
Oh,
mock.
it varies. It varies. I try to so I try to like take advantage of my rewards account, and sometimes if I've
Yeah,
got
of
like a
course.
fire tier reward, I'll definitely always do that. But their menu is always changing.
Yeah.
But I love chalupas. Um, I really love Taco Bell breakfast, but some of the locations by me are getting rid of Taco Bell breakfast
Same. Yeah.
because I guess they're leaving it up to the owners of like the franchisee or whatever, like, and that like really pisses me off because I love Taco Bell breakfast. Like, it's my favorite thing to get.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work
Yeah.
on a petition. Just fucking
Yeah,
stop these Taco Bell franchisers.
yeah.
They need to
I
step up.
I remember when it first came out, and I was just like still in high school, but they had the waffle taco, and it was like
Dude,
a maple syrup
yes.
infused waffle as like
With
the
the
shell.
sausage, with the
Yes,
egg.
yes. Oh my
Crazy.
God. And like
Yeah.
they got rid of it like so quickly. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah. I think that was like when they first announced like the breakfast in general.
yes, it was. Oh,
They've
I
like
missed that.
announced insane things for this year. They're making like I don't even know. I couldn't keep up with all, but they did like a how like Apple like unveils all of their stuff,
Like
like
a
Taco
Yes, I
keynote.
Bell
saw that.
unveiled.
They're doing
We're
like
gonna have this. Yeah, they're
a
doing
whole
chicken
cheese something.
crispers.
Oh, chicken crispers. Yep.
Yeah.
I did try. What did they have? Did they have chicken wings or chicken fingers
Yeah.
or tenders or
It
something?
was
They
like
did
wings, I
wings.
think.
Yeah,
They did
I
away
had them.
with
I
them.
thought they were all right. They're
Yeah.
they're okay.
Yeah, it's just like I'd rather get wings somewhere else, but I'll try it once.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. I'll have anything from Taco Bell though. I'll
Like
try
yeah.
anything from Taco Bell.
I'm
I
still
re
mad they got rid of the quesarito.
Oh man, I didn't even realize. But yes, now that you're
Well,
saying that,
they
dang, I
did it.
missed the quesarito.
They took it off like the physical menu, and then it was online for like 2 years, and then they
Mhm.
just obliterated it completely.
Man,
Yeah, and
unbelievable.
I'm up in arms still.
I used to really like the double XL chalupa,
Yeah.
and they had like a commercial campaign with like Call of Duty Black Ops. And it was like some baseball player or something that was just like kept on saying, "Cause I'm Black Ops." I don't know. That sticks with me for some reason.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
it was probably supposed to.
The things that
Yeah,
will
Their
never
Yeah,
leave
their
the
mind
it
control.
casino.
worked. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
know.
the marketing worked.
Yep.
Yes.
Every
Oh
time you
man.
got it, you knew
We
you
can
were
talk
Black
about
Ops.
marketing. We can talk about advertising.
You're
Like
gonna
I
hear
I
I'm
I was a
Black Ops in the middle of a match, and you're gonna turn, and it's something's
yes,
gonna
Uh,
happen.
and I'm gonna
you're gonna
look for
smell
a
Taco Bell.
yeah, and I'm gonna look for a double XL chalupa. But no, man, commercials are crazy. Like, I was a communications major in college, as well as a philosophy
Same,
major. I
dudes.
double majored.
All
All
four of
of
us.
us in this chat
Commu-
are
Oh, that's
communication.
fantastic. But like, I just like remember like there was one class where we had to like choose an insurance company and like analyze their like advertising and commercial because all the insurance companies have like these icons, like the Geico
Yeah.
guy, the Mayhem Man, Flo from Progressive.
Mhm.
Like, it's crazy. All right.
Yep.
We can talk wrestling.
No,
I
there's
know
My
that
real
we're
boy.
quick.
out
I
of
want to
time.
bring up something though. Is there's the one that is like their gimmick is that they don't have a gimmick or a mascot, but that's still a gimmick.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your gimmick's not having a gimmick.
Yeah.
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 Dude, I mean,
Genius
Yeah.
stuff.
There's always a gimmick.
Jake from State Farm is like set for life now because of one commercial.
Dude, they
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
replaced they
He replaced the
replaced the
first guy. Yeah.
original. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being the original guy? I bet
Yeah.
the original guy is like pissed off right now.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
I
would be,
that's
know.
the
dude.
Fuck.
that's the documentary I want. It's like
What
what
are you
happened to the
wearing?
first State Farm man.
Khakis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Uh,
man. Let's get him on the podcast. Somehow,
What is he
someone
up
find
to?
True.
his info. Get him
Find
on
his
the
yeah,
podcast.
find his LinkedIn. He's
Yeah,
yeah,
out there
I'll
no,
find
somewhere.
that.
I'll talk to Chris from LVAC. Let's see if we
I
can get
know
him on a
shit.
wrestling show.
yeah, the original Jake from
Yeah.
State
Throw
Farm.
him a bone.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Um, Other wrestling question. So you one of your matches, at least in 2024, was defeating Josh Alexander, which I thought was pretty sick, and what a way to end 2024.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and you got to I think it was like over a 12-minute match, so you got to rip with him a bit, and yeah, how was that working with him? And now he's off to
yeah.
AEW, and he's already obviously won the TNA title, done a lot of awesome shit.
It was great. He's so generous. That was the second time that I got to work him. The first time I was like less than 15 matches in, and it was at C4 Wrestling, and I could tell that they put me against him early on in my career to just like test me, like, kind of like
Yeah,
a like prove yourself here. And I think I did back then in 2022. And then wrestling him in 2024, right, like as one of his last indie dates ever was like so special to me and very cool. And like you said, I went over, which like he didn't have to do at all, but it was very cool to go out that way. And I think Barry Wrestling, because Barry Wrestling like gives me opportunities like that. Like I won my first championship there. um, I've had some great memories with Puff there, but now Puff no longer works there because he talks shit about a Barry politician in a promo, which is
that sounds
crazy.
that that sounds right.
Yeah, I think he was talking shit about the Barry, Ontario mayor, like the actual
Uh,
mayor, and that was too much. But
Yeah,
When he
yeah, but
works, he works, and
That's
when
a
he
funny way. It's a
shoots,
funny way to go out,
brother
though.
shoots.
yeah,
hey,
Puff is
that's
really funny, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's not going to be
Yeah.
getting the key to the city anytime soon, but
No, definitely not.
you might have to do like a Hogan angle with him, where you like put like a Patriot mask over him or something,
Oh
and
yeah.
sneak him in as a partner, and be like, "That's not Puff. I'm
I
sorry."
will say the crowd will lose their minds. Wherever Puff goes, the fans love him. It's unreal, unbelievable.
Yeah,
I love seeing talent like that on shows. Like Puff comes to mind, obviously, but like a guy like Bobby Orlando also comes to mind.
Yeah.
Anywhere Bobby Orlando goes, he's like the most over person. It's so cool. It's so cool to see.
yeah. Well, that's why I like watching Mystery Wrestling, which you were on kind of early in one of the earlier episodes, at least in the first 10, and yeah, I don't know, it's awesome because a lot of these wrestlers we've been talking about appeared on that, and yeah, I mean it's great comedy wrestling, but also like some great wrestlers going through there and doing cool shit too, and like getting
Oh
very
yeah.
very creative with match endings, and yeah,
Oh yeah.
well, you had a hair
Oh,
versus hair match, I think, right?
I did. I did have
Yeah,
it was a hair versus hair match, and it was a 2 count to the finish instead of a 3 count. So that was
yeah,
also a
That's
weird
awesome.
stipulation,
Yeah.
but like that was Mystery Wrestling is such a great time. And I'll start talking about Evil Uno in a little bit, but like that match was crazy because I had Chuck Taylor on commentary, and in the middle of the match, I did this just to pop myself. But I changed my trunks in the middle of the match just to see if anyone would notice. And Chuck Taylor immediately noticed. He was like, "What? Why did he change his gear? What?" And he was so confused. And Uno had no idea what was going on. That's one of my favorite things that I've ever done in wrestling, like period.
It's
Um,
pretty great.
but yeah, no.
Always keep them guessing.
Yeah, Mystery Wrestling a great time. It gives people like London Lightning and Cecil Nix and Psycho Mike like a place to shine. I love it when their clips go viral because honestly, you take a look at any of those cards, I feel like anything from any of those matches could go viral at any point in time.
yeah,
But yeah, it's a great show and shout out Mystery Wrestling. Shout out Evil Uno. I've gotten to work with him a lot,
yeah,
specifically at C4, and I just really appreciate all of those reps and like being able to learn from him and stuff. Even though he's got his own students. he's got his own students, he runs his own school and everything with Stu Grayson, but like I feel like I consider him a mentor of mine for sure. So
Yeah, definitely a
Awesome.
good mentor to have along the way. And it's
100%.
well, also I feel like with like, wrestlers too, it's like a lot of right place, right times with as far as the people you come across that are willing to help you and, give you kind of the next step and stuff because it is competitive and it's like, a lot of people are gonna be like, why I really don't want to help someone out so they can just, go a step above me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely think the world of all of like the veterans that like are just so willing to give their knowledge to like, this next generation of wrestlers because that's how the whole scene like, benefits.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Shout out to like Uno, shout out to like Speedball Mike Bailey. Shout out to like those guys that are just like always willing to help people and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
So like looking out ahead of this year 2025, what are some even further than that, what are some companies that you haven't worked with that you're looking to work with, maybe some places or regions you'd want to go to and wrestle that you've been wanting to kind of do?
So last year I started working more in the Midwest and I'd love to continue to do that. But I would also love to like go down south and on the West Coast and just everywhere in general.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know about like promotion specifically, but like obviously the big ones come to mind, like Deadlock, they're killing it. Prestige, West Coast, like all of these promotions seem to be like doing very well and have like very cool products. So and I would love to be part of any of them. I just saw, I think it was Prestige. I could be wrong. They're doing Zack Sabre Jr. versus Matt Brannigan. Are you guys familiar with Matt Brannigan?
I've heard his name. I'm not
Yeah,
too
I'm not too
familiar.
familiar with him though.
Oh my God, this dude is unreal. Highly recommend following him like on socials because his promos are next level. Um I guess to give some context, he has an OnlyFans and it's pretty successful. He dates uh this lady named Candace Dare, um who I mean, they do OnlyFans together.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
I've wrestled Matt a handful of times and I've been on plenty of shows with him, and it's just always such a fun time. Like there's a triple threat that I did. I think it was another tournament match actually for Black Label Pro Turbo Grabs. It was me, Matt Brannigan, and Trevor Outlaw. And at one point, I grabbed both of their nipples because Matt Brannigan grabs people's nipples like all the time. Like just he does it.
Yeah.
So so first I grabbed his nipples, but then they grabbed my nipples. And then we were all grabbing each other's nipples. And we were just in a circle grabbing each other's nipples. And it's just like so ridiculous to think about. Like these three grown men in like just this like and like people watch this. Like why
Yeah.
what are we doing? But it's like
I would
so
have popped.
fun. I love seeing Matt Brannigan all the time. He's the best. He rules. And I love it when promotions actually take the risk and don't just like put like really good wrestler, like shoot style good wrestler against really good shoot style wrestler. Like I love it when people do like more of like a comedy wrestler versus like a super serious wrestler. Like I
Yeah.
think you get some of the best matches out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the best things about wrestling is when you do like combine all these different genres, and like that's why I love going to shows that like placate to kind of all those, but as you said, like mix them together. Put like a
Yeah.
death match guy against like a technical wrestler, just like and just seeing how those styles clash. Like you always kind of see something new, and yeah,
Yeah.
it might bring the person in that's not into technical wrestling kind of understand it more because they're against a style they enjoy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. I really like the companies that are good at doing that, and yeah, Prestige is definitely one of them, and Deadlocked.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
We have like an undertaking that we gave up on a while ago. I think both of them have forgotten about, but we were going to try to do a tier list of every single indie wrestling company that's active, like in the
I
world.
didn't give up.
That's
I didn't
crazy.
give up.
I have like I think 200 250 like companies on the
There is
list.
Yeah.
there's no shot that you guys
Yeah.
can do that because like there's so many
There's
indie
No,
so
there
wrestling
is.
companies.
Yeah,
So we
There's
that's
were
so
what.
gonna
many indie
watch
wrestling
30
companies.
seconds or like 15 seconds of each company.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I
But
was gonna rip through them and tear
there's
them.
like
Just base it
thousands.
on that.
there's like so many companies that don't even have an online
Yeah.
presence at all.
Yeah,
Like they're not listed on
yeah,
Cage Match. They're just in the middle of the. I could like hand off a bunch in Albany, New York that like
Yeah.
I've never wrestled for and never am gonna wrestle for, and just
Yeah.
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah. We're gonna
Um,
have to do like a few part series because like, I think we're starting off with 250. These are 250 that like are somewhat that are all active at
okay.
least. You know,
Yeah.
decently active where they're at least putting a monthly show on and stuff. So like,
And there's
because then
at
we
least
have
one video of them that exists somewhere on the
yeah,
Oh my God, that's
internet.
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Kudos
So
to you guys.
I'm taking a PTO day on that episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
yeah,
I would too.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm
You're not
sick.
you're not allowed.
You can
Yeah,
just sleep on the stream, you know?
Oh my
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine with
God.
me.
Yeah, that you can be like artsy. You can sleep and yeah, just do your thing.
That's crazy. That's a big undertaking.
Yeah,
I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. Like,
yeah.
like good luck, guys. Good
I
luck.
know,
That's
especially getting
basically
up.
the goal of his podcast is to make Chris stop liking wrestling.
Dude, it's close.
Yeah, we try our best. Yeah, but the getting all the logos is gonna take a while. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah,
And that's Jason's
definitely.
job. So
Yeah, that's half the
um,
journey is just putting it in the
yeah,
Photoshop tier
Oh
thing.
yeah.
my
Just
God.
getting. You're gonna have to. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna fit those, but we'll figure it out.
Oh my God. Unreal.
But
Just
what's some
uploading.
wrestling that?
So many
What?
internationally
No,
too.
never mind. Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
What
Yeah.
are you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say what kind of wrestling are you watching these days, like TV wise, if any?
What whatever's popular pretty much like
Yeah,
on Twitter. Honestly, I don't necessarily have the time in the day to actually sit down and like watch a full show.
yeah,
Um
it's hard.
recently me, Puff, Isaiah, we were wrestling at this place called Remix Wrestling up in Ottawa. So like with some like mystery wrestling guys like London and those and it was like the same night as the Royal Rumble and the promoter put the Royal Rumble on in the back. So like all the boys were just like watching the Royal Rumble in the back as like the matches were like going on and everything. But like that was a really fun time because it's been a long time since I actually got to like sit down and watch a full show. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I had a shoulder injury too, so I was just doing commentary for a few matches. So really I could just relax and watch the Rumble. So
Nice.
yeah.
What'd you
Um
think? What'd you think about Cena's heel turn, dude?
Crazy. It broke my heart. But no, that I thought
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
And I've been telling everyone in my real life, no one is a wrestling fan really.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's like, but I've been like bringing up John Cena every single conversation I can. Just like, do you guys see John Cena turned heel? And it's been over 20 years since he's been heel, and they're like, shut up. I'm like, okay, sorry
I
for
did
bothering you.
I did the same thing to my grandma the next day when I saw her. And she's 90 something years old. I was like, Grandma,
Oh my
you'll
God.
you'll never guess.
Cena
You'll
did
You'll
never
it.
never
guess what
guess
happened
the
last night.
doctor of thugonomics
And
is
she was
Yeah,
back.
just like, I remember Gorgeous George. And I was like, all right, Grandma.
My
yeah,
grandmother too.
yeah.
There you go.
Before my grandma passed away, she would always say her favorite wrestler was Gorgeous
Uh,
George, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, cool, good to
that's
know."
back when men were men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched the Rumble with like in the background with like people who haven't watched wrestling since they're like 11, and they were
yeah,
hyped that John Cena turned
yeah.
heel.
I will
Yeah, it
say
was
that
fun.
the Rumble is the best
Oh,
show probably
a
to
hundred
to
percent.
to watch with non-wrestling
Mhm.
fans because they just see like the
It's
entrances.
just
It's
yeah,
like,
it's
yeah,
fast paced. It's just like fast paced, big move.
Yep.
next guy. It's
Yeah.
like it's hard to lose attention.
And a non-wrestling fan can just go
Yeah,
like, "Oh, that guy in the yellow, I like him. I'm rooting
exactly.
for him to
Yep,
win."
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
remember there's one year in college I put on the Rumble for my roommates and the New Day came out and Big E like was taking the pancakes out of his freaking singlet and my
Yeah.
one roommate was just like, "What? What is this?" And he was high as hell watching this and he was
Yeah.
just like, "What is going on? They're my favorite wrestlers."
Yeah, that's all it takes,
That
dude.
was a
And that's
great
why it's like
time.
you need every flavor in wrestling because, like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that's what we were talking about before. Like some of these indie shows that don't do well, it's like because they'll just try to, I don't know, just like they don't spice any of the matches up with like any different types of wrestlers or types of wrestling. It's just kind
Yeah.
of like, all right, guys, get your shit in over the next like 6 to 10 minutes, and no one's really trying to take any like bumps that you know, are going to put them in any vicarious situations. And it's just kind of like a walkthrough, a lot of those. And it's just kind of like, yeah,
Right.
those are the rough indie events for me. And a lot of those have occurred for me in Jersey. I'm down in Georgia now for the past couple of years. So I got to explore there, blindly jump into like their indie wrestling realm. And I would say that that like their setup and some of these like top indie companies are definitely doing it right compared to a lot of the stuff I was experiencing up in Jersey for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell like once you go to a show that there's like some indie companies that just get it. Like there's
Yeah,
some that
Yeah.
just completely understand it. And it makes a world of difference when you go to one that like doesn't really understand it. But yeah. Yeah, because like the indie companies that like understand wrestling pay their wrestlers well, pay for the wrestlers' travel, pay for like all that stuff. And then like the ones that don't get it, they're a little more old school and are like, "Oh, you just deserve $20 in
yeah.
a handshake or whatever." And just like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Get out of here. It's 2025. Yeah.
Yeah. You should just be happy we put you in the card basically, and yeah. But
Yeah.
so that's been a cool experience checking out wrestling down here because yeah, I don't know. It was definitely a mecca for a while back in the day, and it seems like it's picked up over the past couple of years since I've been here too, as far as getting good match cards and a lot of companies like QT Marshall. He's got his own like wrestling company. He's doing TCW that he's been doing a lot of shows with this year, and using a
Nice.
lot of the Nightmare Factory guys breaking them in, or other
Nice.
people getting ready to go in ROH and AEW. So that's been pretty cool to check out.
That's
So I
awesome.
because I was worried when I got down here. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna have,
Yeah.
wrestling wise? Because AEW and WWE and a lot of those companies don't come through Georgia a ton, honestly, like once a year each maybe. And
Mhm.
um yeah, so I've had to dive deep. But have you worked
I
Georgia before at all?
I have not worked Georgia before, but I worked a few Nightmare Factory students, and I can't recommend them enough. Some of my favorite
Yeah.
people in the world, actually, like Trip Jordy. Do you guys know Trip Jordy?
Yep,
Yeah,
Yes.
yep,
Oh my
yeah.
we do,
God,
absolutely.
unreal with the he does the whip.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Trip Jordy, Hayden Backlund,
Mhm.
Trevor Outlaw. There's this guy. He works for AEW in a backstage role. But he's also a wrestler. His name is John Grillo.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
he has Power Rangers gear often, and I'm a big Power Rangers fan, and I also sometimes have Power Rangers gear, so we talk about that often, like in the DMs and everything. So
What's your favorite Ranger?
Oh,
oh,
continue.
maybe
I'm
the
gonna grab something.
you're good. I mean,
Grabbing a
honestly,
Ranger.
I feel
Yeah.
like everyone's favorite is like Tommy, right? Because Tommy's been so many Rangers throughout the
Hmm.
whole year, but.
Yeah.
Um, But I do, Time Force is my favorite season, and I do really like the Quantum Ranger, which is why I had the Quantum Ranger like gear, like as one of my
Oh
first Power Rangers
yeah.
gear. Oh, that's awesome. Is that a
Uh,
popcorn bucket?
It was like a little garbage can from I guess the 90s.
That's awesome. That
Some lady,
rules.
some lady was throwing it out.
That rules.
Her loss.
I said, "Wait a minute." Yeah, I was a big Power Rangers guy growing up too.
Did you watch like other seasons besides just like Mighty Morphin
Just
or
Mighty Morphin growing up.
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
I I fell out of it.
that's
Yeah.
okay. A lot of people do. But
I was a Blue Ranger guy.
Billy,
So was I. I was a Billy guy too.
I like
interesting.
green.
So
Yeah,
you were a Tommy guy, yeah.
That's
You liked it
Tommy
better
as
as
well, right?
green?
Because he changed
Better as green
yeah.
colors.
than white? Yeah.
I was I was always a Black Ranger guy for Mighty
Mhm.
Morphin. Like whether it was Zach or Adam, like I think both did pretty cool. So you know.
The Red
Yeah.
Ranger became a porn star for a bit,
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
which that just adds to the lore, you know.
Oh, did he pass away? Is he the one that passed away,
No,
or
that
was it a
was
different one?
Tommy.
That
No.
was Tommy.
Ah,
Yeah.
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 And then the Yellow Ranger, the first one.
Yes, Trini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
that's
so
sad.
I
It's pretty crazy too, because like if you go into later seasons, I think the Red Wild Force Ranger, I think he like
Yeah.
killed his roommate
I
with
remember hearing
like
about it. It was
a
wow.
something like
sword
that.
or
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
Like that's
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
Dark
Yeah,
side of
there's
the Power Rangers.
Dude,
You know
there's
what I
so
yeah.
mean?
much. There's really
I
it.
remember seeing a video about it, like that kind of just went into a little bit of like the dark things of people who have been Rangers, like
Mhm.
gotten arrested for murder, and there's a bunch of other stuff that we've been talking
I mean,
about.
like
And
Billy was bullied her like all the time because
Yeah.
he was gay. So
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
one thing too.
I wonder if
yeah,
they've
It's messed
like
up.
officially made amends like from that like
Yeah.
bullying. Like because I know they just did like the reunion like
Yeah.
movie or show or whatever they
Mhm.
just did. I didn't watch it. I don't know to be honest,
yeah,
but like I wonder if like they, actually like sat down and
I mean,
you know,
I'd have to think so, right?
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
would
I
hope
don't think.
so.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
also,
mean, I
like
don't know.
the controversy right now, I don't know if you guys have heard, but like the Boy Meets World podcast or
Yeah.
whatever, like,
Yes, yes, I've heard. And
yeah,
another, that's kind of funny you say that because I thought about her as well because she became a porn star after Boy Meets World.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, like the Red Ranger, and
hmm
she's also a redhead. So wow,
yeah,
it's a
all
small
the
world
connections,
with the
right?
Rangers and the Boy Meets World. Yeah, yeah. Who needs 6 points of bacon when he's got one? But yeah, that controversy is wild. But I heard the clip where like they just had her on the podcast and they kind of just it seems like it's like kind of worked out. I guess I don't. But there's a lot of like Ben Savage hasn't spoken to any of them for
Listen,
years.
I'll
Interesting.
always support Will
He's
Yeah,
Friedle. I'll always support Topanga. I can't remember her name in real life, but
Danielle Fishel, I think, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Danielle
it's official.
Fishel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no,
Wow.
Corey or Ben Savage like became a politician. He was like, "I'm cutting this off right now," and like
yeah.
just stopped talking
yeah,
to them.
Well, that's what Will Friedle said. He said just like one day he just like stopped, didn't like answer me, and then just never gave me an explanation. But he
That's
did
what
see them like on the set of Boy Meets Girl or whatever, Girl Meets World or
yeah. I've heard
whatever.
that
so.
was way before though.
Yeah, but yeah, they've talked about after that he really didn't really speak to them much on set. He just
Yeah,
kind of
Interesting.
did his
I blame
scenes and
Sabrina
like walked
Carpenter,
off.
dude.
Anyway, back
Yeah.
to Gilmore Girls.
You you blame her? I
No,
just
I'm
got
How
joking. I'm
could
joking. I'm
tickets.
you?
I
joking.
just got
Yeah.
tickets for
She was like,
Madison Square
she
Garden.
was like
Oh, that's
15.
awesome. Yeah, that's good. You're in a room with a bunch of Sabrina fans, so
Okay,
I'm more
that's
of a
crazy.
Chapel
Yeah,
Roan guy, but
yeah. Sabrina
she's
Wow.
not
responded to my
bad.
comment in
wow,
2018.
okay.
You guys should have
Sorry.
Anthony Musso on then. Musso loves Chapel Roan.
Oh,
There
hell
you go.
yeah. Finally, I'll have
I think Sabrina's gonna be bigger than Taylor one day.
I think so.
I hope
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
dude. I
Dude, I
really
she's
hope
well
she
do.
on her
does. I
way.
hope she does more acting stuff because she was really good in like a lot of like I saw one of her movies at like a film festival that was really good. It was like it was starring her and Trevor from GTA 5.
That's
oh,
crazy.
I
That's
forget his
fucking
It was
name.
Trevor Ogg is his name.
Mm.
It's
Stephen Ogg,
a
yeah.
short or Stephen Ogg, sorry, not Trevor.
Yeah.
It's like I think it was called a short history of the long road or some shit. It was cool,
Oh,
but like she was been awesome in the stuff she's acted in. So maybe
yeah.
when she gets a little burnt out, she'll come back.
I would love to see her in like a cheesy rom-com, like
Yeah,
but like with the early 2000s vibe. Like
yeah.
I miss like
yeah,
that type of movie. Like
Like
those are like my comfort movies, you
yeah,
know.
drive me crazy. You ever see that?
yeah.
I have
That's
not actually.
that's
Great
the dude
movie.
from Entourage. What is his name?
Hmm.
I don't fucking know.
Adrian Grier.
Yeah,
Adrian Green,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then I think it's Melissa Joan Hart, I
Melissa
think.
Joan Hart, yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. All
It's
right,
like
I'll add it to my
it's like
list.
the classic like girl next door, and like we were friends growing up, and now we're not friends in high school, and then everything like works out and shit like that.
There you go.
But yeah,
Sometimes you
super,
need a movie like that, you
Dude,
know?
yeah.
I love just a simple recipe in a movie. Just
Yeah.
give it to me straight.
Same with wrestling. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
need a simple wrestling match like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we were talking a lot of shit about this is irrelevant right now, basically, but we're talking shit about New Jersey wrestling. I met some I met a indie wrestler on Monday on the way to the post office who saw my I was wearing a Little Mean Kathleen shirt,
Hell yeah.
and he was like, "What is that design?" And I was like, he's like, "I have an ECW design too." And I was like, "So does everyone." I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
bro." He was no, he wasn't
Yeah.
like he was cool about it though. He was real cool. And
I
he
thought
was a
no one else
local
thought of
Jer
that.
he was a local Jersey guy. He was trained by Balls Mahoney. Forget his name, but hey, I'm sorry about talking shit about Jersey wrestling. Guy I met at the post office. If you're watching,
Oh yeah.
That is crazy. That's
Uh,
crazy that he
dude,
didn't know who LMK was.
I know that's what I was like. She's a
yeah.
very big indie wrestler. I was like, and we're in New Jersey. Like you should know. Like tri-state. I mean New England.
Yeah.
But this is also sometimes like how you can tell the difference between like an actual wrestler and like someone that just like stays in their local scene.
Mhm.
Like actual wrestlers pay attention to the whole independent scene, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And like the local ones like have no idea and they think
Mhm.
they're gonna get signed by wrestling in the exact same place their entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. LMK rules.
Dude,
Yeah, she
she
did.
was also a technical guest on the pod because of Puff.
Yeah.
That's
Puff just
awesome.
called her and
Puff
didn't
called her. Yeah.
he didn't tell her she was on the pod, and he's called. He's like, "Hey, would you be on this pod?"
It's crazy.
And he's
Kudos
like,
to
"You're kind of
her.
on already." Yeah, she
She
took it well.
She kudos to her. She was like wrestling while still in law school, and
I
she
know.
graduated from
Yeah.
law school. Like that's so
That's
cool.
it's crazy, dude. Like
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Watch out, Britt Baker, DMD, because you got LMK
Yes.
at
Esquire.
law,
Yeah.
Esquire,
Esquire, yeah,
attorney at
ESQ.
law,
LMK,
ESQ.
ESQ,
ESQ.
It's interesting you
ESQ.
it's interesting you've got like LMK, you've got Mark Sterling, you've got a few wrestling lawyers, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
CPA, or
Yeah,
is that a
He's
lawyer?
he's a
accountant.
accountant.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks,
yeah,
guys.
Close enough. Close enough.
A
yeah,
profession though, you know.
Yeah.
IRS. Anyway.
yeah. Isn't Orange Cassidy like a, what do you call it?
He's an architect.
Architect. Yeah.
Architect, right?
I think in real well, I guess he was.
He
I don't
went to
know if he's
school for
still.
it, I
I
Yeah.
don't
suppose.
know.
Do you
I don't
think
know,
that
What
but
I what I heard.
yeah.
I
I
was
thought
I
that
was I separated my shoulder in December, and it just so happened that Orange Cassidy was on the card with me, and there's at one point it was just me, Orange Cassidy, and Junior Benito in the locker room, and that was a cool moment to me because like Orange Cassidy, like he's done it, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like he's doing this thing and everything, but like he was like talking to me about my shoulder, giving me some advice, saying that like he's like separated his shoulder like 20 times, so. That was definitely a cool moment for me, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah. I could
Yeah.
definitely see him separating it a few times. Some of the bumps he's taken.
Yeah.
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 Some of the side apron bumps, like him and Darby have taken some. Darby, of course, but yeah, so is OC, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because like we're all smaller guys, so we kind of,
Mhm.
have to throw
Yeah,
our bodies
Yeah.
around a little bit, you
yeah,
know.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I love that because like I'll study like a Spike Dudley who going back to LMK, Spike Dudley trained LMK,
Oh, there you go.
which
Oh,
is
that's
crazy.
Wow.
that's
Perfect. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's why she's got like all those references to Spike Dudley,
Mhm.
in certain things. Um, but yeah, no, I love watching Spike Dudley. I love watching like Tajiri and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like just like some of the smaller guys in wrestling, just because I'm a smaller guy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah,
yeah.
Tajiri was always awesome. He was definitely one of my favorite wrestlers, like in the Attitude, into Ruthless Aggression era for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably yeah, he ran like the mid card for forever, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably had European title. I think he got the IC title at one point. Maybe I'm wrong, but definitely the hardcore for a minute. But his comedy was always great too. You know, like
Yeah.
him and William Regal stuff will forever go down in history as some of the funniest
Amazing.
shit, dude. Yeah, it's
Absolutely amazing.
yeah,
And
it kind
like,
of reminds me.
oh, I was just gonna say during the Ruthless Aggression era, I loved the mid Carters. Like,
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
my
Amazing.
favorite wrestlers. Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah,
like cool, I think, about like modern day, wrestling is like the big companies, like they kind of have to put some like faith in the mid card because like
Mhm.
that's the people that are going to be their stars of tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of the time it's, I don't know, people want their little like dark horse underdog type guy,
Yeah.
yeah,
100%.
But yeah.
And
dude.
like
The oddities.
as a wrestler, I would love to just like be in the mid card the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you're still doing what you love, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that you might not ever be like world champion, but that's okay, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone's got a place.
yeah, and in the mid card anyway, everyone always ends up in main event matches over time, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Akira
so
Tozawa the other night.
Yeah.
yeah,
That match was
absolutely,
awesome.
it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I like that they like played back to like the history too a little bit the past few weeks of him and Gunther.
Hmm.
Because I know they wrestled back in the day, and also just showing their body transformations too is
Oh yeah.
insane.
Oh
It's
yeah.
insane, and dude. His comedy is obviously great. Tozawa,
Yeah.
dude, it's some of the best in WWE. Him and R-Truth are when it comes to comedy, they hold it down. But
100%.
yeah. But have
Um,
you
you
we like
got
to
it.
talk movies. Have you seen any movies lately that you've enjoyed? Any new ones for the new
Unfortunately, I
year?
have not. And it sucks because I was a Regal Unlimited member for the longest time because I am an avid moviegoer. But
Yeah.
I just haven't had the time. I've just been really busy lately. But I've been wanting to see like the Captain America movie just because I follow the MCU. And
Same,
then
same.
I do want to see Queen of the Ring. Um, and I loved that Mariah May attacked Tony Storm at the red carpet premiere. I thought that
Yeah,
was so
Yeah.
definitely.
awesome.
And I'm
But
glad it was like violent too.
yeah, I'm
It
really
was
looking
fun.
forward
Yeah.
to that Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd movie
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Friendship
big
or something. Is that
time.
what it's called?
I'm
Yeah.
dying to see that.
Yeah, we
It's
love
got
Yeah.
some
Tim Robinson.
like comedians that I like in it too, like Eric Rahil. He's like a guy that's been coming up. He's gonna be on like the new Office that they're doing.
Oh, that's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty solid movie. I
Yeah.
love Paul Rudd. He's a Jersey guy too,
Oh,
from
I did not
Passaic.
know that. Hell
Yeah,
yeah. Is
yeah.
Yeah,
I know
dude.
he's got a candy store in Rhinebeck, New York.
Oh, really?
And
Really.
yeah, he co-owns or owns fully, I don't know. But he owns a candy shop in Rhinebeck, New York. I've taken a trip there with my girlfriend before. It's a cute little town, cute little shop, you know. Highly recommend. Maybe you'll see Paul Rudd, you know.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like super gullible, and I'm pretty sure it's like either today or yesterday. I was like just doom scrolling, and I saw it was like a reel on Instagram, and it said Paul Rudd quietly won an election in Hoboken, and now he's running for mayor. And I was like, no way. I was like, Michelle, like telling my girlfriend about it, and she's like, what? And then I Googled it, and it's
And
not.
it's not real.
It
No,
never. It's
maybe.
literally when you Google it, it brings you to that Instagram post.
Oh,
This sounds about this checks out.
not
Yeah, she
Bobby
she knew as
Newport.
soon as I said it. She's like, that's not real.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch Parks and Rec?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely, Bobby
Oh my
Newport.
God, Bobby Newport.
dude. One of my
Brown sugar
favorite
in the water.
cameos on the entire show for sure is Bobby
Yeah.
Newport. It's so good, dude.
Oh my God.
And
That's like
just
one of the best shows.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
so
good one.
good because like anyone that like hasn't seen it and they've seen The Office and really liked it, I'm just like, check it out.
You know what's another one? The Good Place. Have you guys seen The Good
Yeah,
Place?
I
Yep,
love that
yep,
show, man. It's a
Yeah.
yep,
good one. Ted Danson,
Yeah.
classic.
yeah, yeah. It made me realize I'm for sure in the bad place, or at least going there. I hear the train coming with Adam Scott.
Yeah.
That sick
Yeah.
fuck, dude. I love him as an evil character. It's always great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did end up seeing Queen of the Ring this weekend.
Oh, you saw it.
Yeah, I had to try. It was a drive because I'm an AMC A-lister, but my
Wow.
AMC's like dog shit, so I don't play anything. And like
Mm,
Queen of the Ring was such like a limited release movie. I had to
mhm.
drive. It was far, but I went, and it was very good. But like it suffered from what most things suffer with. It's too long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's like
Mm.
tighten
Mm,
it up and everything. It was like it's a easy, fun story. Well,
yeah.
some parts aren't fun. Some parts are like what she went through and all that stuff. But like uplifting story, just shorten it. Like,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
a few there's a few cameos in it. Besides like obviously Tony Storm had a big role and Camille had a big role. Who is it? Britt Baker had like 2 frames, I think, in it.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
The MJF her.
no,
Yeah.
but no, like you
About
saw her
half
okay.
face at
MJF and
least. You
Iron
saw her
Claw.
face at
Yeah,
least. And
that's what I'm
then
saying. Yeah.
yeah, Mickey James was in it for like 5 seconds, and then Naomi had a few lines.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was gonna
that's
say.
interesting.
Yeah, and then the worst of all time was in it too.
Cornette.
My boy Jim Cornette.
Jesus Christ.
How
And
was Corny in it?
I
Did
mean,
he?
he did play a great promoter, to be fair, or like whatever he was playing. But
If
Huh.
there's something, yeah,
the
something
only
I
he's good
mean,
thing,
at.
he's the type, you know.
the director was
Yeah.
like all over AEW Revolution, and the only thing I don't like about that guy is that he chose to cast himself as Vince McMahon Sr. in the film. I was like, I don't know,
Oh.
kind
That's
of
an
corny,
interesting
dude.
choice.
I don't
Yeah.
know, dude.
Yeah, that's a very interesting choice.
I was like, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it, senior, not junior, but still,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the good one. All right. It's not.
yeah. I'm like, I bet,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not
yeah.
the
But
bad one.
it's good. I would check it out. It's a yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What's your Meltzer rating?
Oh, I don't know, 3.5.
Yeah.
I
Three
guess
and
Interesting.
a half
yeah.
popcorn
three,
buckets.
3.5. I liked
I
it because
want.
I like the carnival, and there was a good amount of it like in the carnival because like that's where
Hmm.
she started and stuff, like wrestling. She was
Yeah.
like wrestling dudes in the carnival,
Interesting.
like step
Inter-
right up, defeat this woman
That's cool.
type of
so
stuff. Yeah.
I
intergender
like that.
wrestling. That's any
Well,
male wrestlers that we
that
know.
was not that I noticed, but that was like the thing
Come
back then
on.
was like women on women wrestling was illegal, but a woman could wrestle a man or some shit. It was weird. It was kind of
Oh,
confusing, honestly, but
I feel like with
that is confusing.
all the wrestlers that have side cards, they should have had more wrestlers in it as
well,
actors, right?
I read the trivia or some shit on IMDb, and it said like Charlotte Flair was originally cast for like the role that Camille was in, and
Hmm.
then I think it said
Makes
Liv
sense.
Morgan was cast for the Tony Storm role, but then
Oh,
I think WWE was just like,
Felt
no,
they
like
probably
you're
wanted some like
busy,
control or
or
something.
maybe it said
Yeah.
they were injured or something. I don't know. But
interesting.
Camille and Tony Storm did great as their roles. It was cool
Yeah.
seeing Tony Storm, but she had to like do an American, like Californian accent, and so it was cool to see her adjust. But it was fine. It was a good movie.
That sounds awesome. I definitely
Yeah.
have to check that out because I was a big fan of Arrow, the TV show. Uh,
Yeah, and
and
mhm,
that had uh what's her name?
yeah,
Emily? Emily something
she was at Revolution too. Yeah,
Ricards.
something like that.
Yeah,
She was an
but
Arrow
yeah.
and Heels, the one wrestling show that
Oh, I
Stars
didn't know
did.
that she was in Heels. I knew that Stephen Amell
Mhm.
definitely was in Heels, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
maybe.
That
Yeah,
rules.
it was a good
Oh yeah.
time.
Definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, they were saying at Revolution, they're like, it's gonna be in theaters for 4 more days, and I was like, you only got like a week.
Oh
Like, so I
man.
guess it's
Oh
coming.
fuck.
I guess it's coming to streaming soon. I'd have
Okay.
to guess.
I guess
Yeah.
I might have to check my local theater to see if
I
Listings.
don't know,
there's
man.
any like
It was definitely limited, dude. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it was only showing at one of the theaters around me, and I've got like four around me,
mhm.
but it was only showing at one. I know that, so I definitely have to look at the updated times then if it's only
it's
for a
if
few
I
days.
if I had to guess, it's probably Wednesday's probably like tomorrow's probably the last
Yeah,
day because then
dang.
Thursday rolls around and all the new releases come out.
Yep. So I
So
gotta go tomorrow.
if you're going, you're going tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no matter what you do, don't see flight risk. unless you
Okay.
want to have the best time of your life
Oh,
and the worst at the
I
same
don't know.
time.
Yeah. That's the Mark Wahlberg movie that came out
Dude.
where
Yeah,
he's like bald in it.
Where
it's
he's
crazy.
he like impersonates a pilot who's like riding a witness somewhere, and then like his hat comes off and he's like, y'all need a pilot, and he's bald.
That sounds like
yeah.
a great movie.
That's the
I
big
need to see
reveal.
that now.
It's like a
Yeah,
just fun, like it's fun dog shit movie.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
I
like Mickey
remember
17.
oh, I
Yeah,
wanted that was on my list that I wanted to see. But back in like I forget what year, but me and my best buddy, his name is Pity. Not that that matters. I wanted him to become a wrestler like me, and then he just never did. It's fine. Now he lives in Mississippi. All right. Anyway,
Shout out Pity.
uh, we saw that the Rotten Tomato score for the Emoji movie was like dog shit.
yeah,
So we then immediately bought tickets and saw the Emoji
Yeah.
movie.
yeah.
So like I can see like sometimes watching bad movies, it's like watching
It's
bad wrestling. Sometimes I
yeah,
love watching bad wrestling.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
It's
refreshing.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's a good
Makes you
time.
appreciate what's good about the good stuff, you know?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
We were definitely the only people in the theaters like screaming laughing, but what,
We're
we
trying
were.
not to be
There was like
disrespectful.
maybe 8 people there, and we were laughing most of the time. But I
And
did feel a little bad.
you
Yeah,
could tell on the map, like when we bought our tickets, that like most of the people going were just going alone.
Hmm.
Which I don't know.
yeah.
I guess it's that kind of movie. Most Mel Gibson
Interesting.
movies are, I
I
guess.
guess you want to see that by yourself. Yeah. But yeah, in our defense, it was really funny. So good job. Good job at that. And Mel Gibson directed film and
Topher
yeah.
Grace looked kind of like Ninja in it. Just so
yeah.
you
It was
know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
crazy. It
Yeah.
was so, dude. Once like he once he got beat up in the movie, I was like, why does he look like Ninja so
He
much?
was just like making the ninja face.
It's
I don't know.
I
crazy.
It
don't
was
know.
so weird. And then I looked it up, and on Reddit there was a post 6 years ago about Topher Grace looking like Ninja, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not crazy.
There you go. Someone
That's
co-signed
crazy.
your insanity.
What is something you want to accomplish this year?
Me?
Yeah.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, it
Oh
is.
my
Super
God.
Hey
He
loaded.
wants
man.
to see Flight Risk now.
Accomplished. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking movies and then you hit me with
Like,
that.
all
Yeah,
right,
dude.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
switch up the
deep.
vibe.
Accomplish. Oh man.
We're not giving you softball all day. I'm sorry.
Wrestling wise, win another title.
Hell yeah.
Let's put that. Yeah.
You
Let's
should
put
put
that out
also
into the universe.
win over the Bethlehem ice cream crowd.
Oh yeah. Let's
I
do
mean,
Yeah.
that.
maybe not, honestly. Fuck them if they're doing cotton
Yeah.
candy. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, Ultimo Ant that also wrestles at
Yeah.
LVAC. He's a big ice cream fan. He's bought me ice cream on multiple occasions. He's done the whole like Pennsylvania ice cream trail. I think you get like a golden like scooper or something like that, and he's done it before.
Damn.
So I think he can claim Bethlehem for ice
Yeah,
cream
yeah.
territory and stuff.
Right on.
So
They just gotta get some cotton candy in their system. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what was wrong.
Oh,
I don't know what was wrong that night.
yeah. Well, I think we all need to go to one of your shows this year and all just have giant like gallons of cotton candy ice cream. Just
Like
be
the
scarfing it down.
Please.
like the Goonies
Uh, yeah, exactly.
Mm,
Just all over
with
our
the Rocky
faces and
Road. Yeah.
stuff, and just yeah,
So
give you
like
the pop of the
how far
century.
how far do you guys typically like travel to like go see a show? Like is there
I'll only really like on top from Tom's River to Ridgefield Park is like an hour 20 for me,
okay.
and I'll do that sometimes. I will try for LVC's like 2 hours. Sometimes it's a little more when they do the drive-in show. I will travel for them because I love their
Interesting.
show so much. Like the drive-in show I think is the coolest show of the year.
Interesting. Have you guys heard of Seek Pro Wrestling? They ran one show,
I don't think
but
so.
the person that runs it trained at Grapplers Anonymous and he's
Mhm.
starting to run shows. And I think like he just booked Big Dan.
Okay.
So like I I think that might be another contender in the
There you
Pennsylvania
go.
area. So
Yeah.
yeah, that might be one to look out for.
But yeah, put it on the radar.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
maybe
know.
maybe we'll have an ice cream match there
There you go.
where you guys
Yeah.
bring the tubs of ice cream and we'll put a tarp down and we'll just wait. Actually,
Get like
I
a
wrestled in
kiddie
a
pool.
I wrestled in a food fight battle royal at the H2O Academy in New
Mhm.
Oh
Jersey.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Williamstown.
we've been in there a few times.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
for interspecies wrestling that I hold the master of the universe. But I remember I was in there with Puff, and I was like a last minute addition, right? Like I kind of just showed up, um,
Um,
and Puff was like, "Whatever you do, don't get whipped cream on me." And there's a clip of me literally getting whipped cream on him intentionally, and he's just like
yeah,
he breaks like we're trying to like be all like wrestlers and serious, but he just starts breaking down laughing and everything, and he just tosses my butt out the ring.
There
Those are
you
good memories. I
Oh yeah.
guess sometimes New Jersey can be a
go.
good place
Yeah.
to wrestle.
there we go.
Yeah.
There we
Exactly.
go.
John,
We found some.
John almost died at the H2O wrestling place.
Yeah, I said my eyeballs ripped out.
Uh yeah,
I went to like a death
brutal.
match, whatever summit, world
Mhm.
summit, during WrestleMania weekend last year, and yeah, took a nice
Oh
shard to
man.
the face, yeah, to the
Yeah.
nose. But yeah, I don't. Luckily, there was some nice woman in the crowd that she was there. She was there visiting from England for WrestleMania weekend, and she was also like friends with like some of the British deathmatch wrestlers. So she had her own glued my nose up for me right on
Oh,
site. I know it was
that's so
nice of
sweet.
her. I know. So that was nice.
At least they
But
have
Happy that
some
you're healed
camaraderie.
now.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Just not a
They got him on the nose. You wouldn't even be able to tell.
That's
yeah.
funny.
Just not emotionally healed yet.
It's
Hey,
interesting that
listen.
you bring that up because it just reminded me that sometimes I travel with Kennedy Copeland, or now she goes by
Mhm.
Kennedy Hardcastle, and sometimes she like does that deathmatch stuff at H2O and whatnot, and I'm just like, good for you. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I'll do some extreme stuff, but like glass is something that I
See,
don't necessarily want to
this
do.
stuff freaks me out. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
want to deal with it.
but I do really want to go through thumbtacks really bad, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
That's
yeah.
pretty good, I think, because at least you can find all of them and pick it all out.
Exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want. I just like want a photo of like all the dots,
Yeah. You need that
yeah,
backstage photo for sure.
yeah,
But
Me and John have definitely driven really far to see wrestling before. I was because you asked that earlier, and
yeah,
just
yeah.
being in Georgia, we tried to go to like up and down the whole state, wherever we could, kind of thing. But then we
yeah.
started branching out a little more. We went to Huntsville, Alabama. We went to
Okay,
There's one in North Carolina called Ashe, which is really
okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Um,
In Charlotte. And then a lot
and that
of
was like what,
some
6 hours?
Wrestling. Hitting up some stuff in
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, hitting stuff up in Knoxville for NWA. But
There you go.
yeah, so we've bounced around a lot. Then we were up there, we would drive solid distances. Like I remember we drove to like a Dynamite in Boston from Jersey,
Oh yeah.
and then drove back that night like sickos.
That was
But
like right when we all, I mean, at least me and John got super back into it. You know what I mean? I think John was
Mhm.
always into it a little bit, but like
yeah,
I met Chris in school.
In
Me and John are
college.
brothers. I don't know if we made that
Oh, okay. I had no
clear.
idea.
But
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, we met Chris, and like I don't know, it just kind of all the fandom went really hard for us.
Jason
Yeah.
Chris
said
is like,
Jason in class, his prompt was, "What three people do you relate to? Are you like in media?" And he said
no,
Razor
yeah.
Ramon, and I was like,
What are three
Who the fuck is that?
characters?
Who is
Yeah.
that kid who just said that?" And then I talked to him after class, and that's how the wrestling started for him.
That's
He's like,
awesome.
Yeah.
dude, check out my Matt Hardy
I
shirt.
was wearing a Matt Hardy shirt. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it's
him
wearing
pushing a lawnmower.
the mower of lawn shirt.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
I
That's a
know.
great
Yeah,
story.
and now Jason
There,
tries to make me hate wrestling, so he's a
there,
sicko.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my
there's
lifetime goal.
There's a kid at my school, freshman year of college, that was like lived down the hallway from me. And he put up a photo of The Rock
Mhm.
on his like door. So I put up a photo of Stone Cold Steve Austin, like we've never talked before.
Yeah.
But I saw that he taped a photo of The Rock, so I taped a photo of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then like the next week, he taped all of like his whole entire door with just photos of The Rock. And I'm like, okay, so this guy, we're going back and
Yeah.
forth here. Few years go by. I see him in the gym. I recognize who he is because he's got like wrestling merch on. He's got like rock merch. Um, and then I had like one class with him. And I told him that I was like starting to train to be a wrestler and everything. He was like, "Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool." And then years go by, I graduate, he graduates, whatever. I'm in Buffalo at the KeyBank Center for AEW extra work. And I'm just like waiting in line because like in New York you have to like get your, blood pressure and everything. And then in comes him, the guy from my college that like did, he taped The Rock and like what?
Yeah.
Like I told
So
him that I
wild.
was training. Turns out he went to the Nightmare Factory.
That's awesome.
And
Mm.
and so I
That's
was like, that's
wild.
so crazy. What a small world,
Yeah.
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 It's does he still wrestle? Is he still going
I don't know. After that time, that was like his debut match. He actually what he like jobbed out to Will Hobbs. Um, and that was like his first match. Like his gear was just like black biker shorts. Like so I don't know if he still wrestles. I followed him, but I haven't seen him active on social media, so I don't know.
yeah. That's crazy still.
You might
Yeah,
have to dress up as Stone Cold and have him dress up as The Rock and do an insane
definitely.
match. All for
Yeah.
Definitely.
storytelling.
The
Now I
storyline is there.
I need the internet to not clip this because I don't want to get canceled, but I guess you could call me Stone Cold Steve Asian.
There you go.
Yeah,
Dude, I mean, yeah, you're right. With the storyline's already there. You can be
it
trying to.
is.
He kind of big timed you. He's like, "Oh,
He
you
did.
like wrestling? Okay, dude."
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
then, dude, and then you're getting your revenge years later.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, cutting great promos, making up stuff he didn't even do. Be like, yeah, he was known as the gooner of the floor. You can just
Exactly.
He did a waffle
You
shred.
got a
stomp in the
storyline right
commercial
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yep. Yep. No one liked him. He was a sicko. But
When are you
yeah.
turning? When's the Myung-jae Lee heel turn?
There, I'm a heel at one place, and it's Barry Wrestling that I am a heel,
Yeah.
which is crazy. So like I've been finishing almost every single one of my matches with a low blow. I
There
love it.
you
It's real fun.
go.
But and then the only other times that I'm like fully heel is like if it's like a one-off show and like the promoter needs it from me, So, but
Yeah.
it's fun doing it in Barry.
Right on.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, what else do we got for
I think
Mr.
we've been going for a while.
I think we can maybe
Anyone, yeah.
sign off.
All right. Well,
But
thank you for having me.
yeah, thank you for coming on. Do we have anything else? What is Puff's favorite ice cream?
I don't know. I could text him right now, but I think he's on a
Yeah.
flight. I think he's on a flight
Yeah.
right now.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
I will
Thank you
Yeah.
so much
say,
for coming on, man.
Yeah. What events do you have coming up? Anything?
what do I have? What do I
Yeah, the
have?
plugs. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we
You
do.
can't forget the
I got.
plug.
I would have to pull up my schedule. Give me a second. One
You
moment.
got it.
One moment,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have. I know I've got C4 coming up at the end of the month. C4 in Ottawa, and I've got One Up Wrestling and at the Syracuse, New York Fairgrounds. So that'll be fun. I
Nice.
don't think I'm announced for that yet, but I should be or will be soon.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Then I've got Barry, Grapple Pro, C4. Just follow me on social media at Myung-jae 98 to see my, upcoming shows and everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hells
Dude,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Thank
it's
you
a
again, man.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah,
was fun. Yeah.
Pleasure. Yep. We'll have to do this again down the road some point. And yeah.
definitely. Well, thanks, guys.
Yep.
Invasion Angle.
Bet you love that sweet ass podcast. I am John Cena and I approve this message. Boobies.